Hey everybody, Jam Creates here. Got another video. This is one of the things I love about the internet and about what I do. I saw somebody asking for a review, like if anybody was willing to look at their books, and I was like, of course, you making an indie book? I want to see it. So I checked it out, and now we're going to talk about it. All right, hey everybody. So this is the review, my review of Herd Issue 1. That's the book we're going to be talking about today. It is from Floating Rock Comics. Now, like I mentioned in the open, I was scrolling through Twitter and I just happened to see somebody saying, hey, I've got a book and we've done 2 issues, and I was wondering if anybody would want to check it out and review it. And so I reached out and I said, yeah, I'll absolutely review it. And so he hit me up and he sent me the first 2 issues to review. I'm just reviewing issue 1 here, and the reason I'm doing that is because he has kickstarted both these issues successfully, obviously, and issue 2 is going to the printers right now. So I felt like it would kind of be unfair for me to show anything from issue 2 when backers haven't received it yet, because it's at the printers and whatever. Now, I don't know if he already sent out a digital file to backers or not, but I figured, you know what, I generally just do 1 issue at a time anyway. So we're going to get into this. This is Herd issue 1. First off, you can just see, I'm going to make it bigger so you can really see as good as possible here. This is Herd issue 1 from Floating Rock Comics. Like I said, this is a really, really unique concept. What this is it's about Stone Age vampires. So first off, you can see this cover is pretty badass. It's got, the vampire ripping the heart out of a caveman, and you got the other people behind, this tribe behind them. So we get into it, and there's a little explanation at the beginning here of how at the same time as Homo sapiens and Neanderthals and all the other stuff were evolving and finding their way, there was Homo vampirus, which were vampires, clearly. And they were obviously the strongest, the most powerful, most deadly of the humans, of the human species. And so they quickly became the dominant species. But then what happened was, because of their hunger, they hunted Homo sapiens to almost extinction. So what happens is we kind of get we get a look into the vampire society, and we find out that there is this like disease that's ravaging the vampires. And so what's happening is they don't really understand how to solve it, and they don't have enough. They feel like it's because of a lack of human blood to feed on, because there's not enough humans to feed on at this point. So they're getting this disease and they're dying out. So they're trying to figure out what to do, but at the same time, they clearly have these little fiefdoms that are ruled by different, tribal leaders, I guess you would call them. And so we come into the story. We get this character called the Puritan. He's got his 2 dudes with him. I don't know if they have a name, if they're called something or not. They're just kind of referred to as his people. He goes into this town, and we see this town that this camp that used to be pretty vibrant and well off, and you can see that the population is really, starting to fall apart. You can see the vampires have got these sores, and they're weak and they're scrawny, and apparently they were attempting to domesticate humans. That's he sees them that they've been experimenting with domesticating humans, and I guess the reason for that is they're domesticating humans for breeding purposes. So the idea being, if you can get a male and a female human and you can force them to breed, You could have them just like you would have cattle that you would use for food. You would have them breed, and then you would just keep eating, and so on and so forth. Um, and apparently this has never worked. And you can even see here, like there's a scene where the caveman guy, I don't know whether to call him a caveman or whatever, but like he winds up killing the female that he's in with. She begs him to, because she doesn't want to be forced into being cattle for them and being a breeder for the vampires. Um, and then they also have, what's interesting is there's, because of the problems going on in vampire society, they've established rules about the humans that are left. The tribes that they have to keep the females. They need to leave the females alone. And then the males, they can feed on the males, but they have to leave a few of them because they need to be able to breed. So there's actually, they have a problem with poaching. There's, human poaching by vampires who are going out and killing humans without permission to feed on them. So it's this really crazy concept, and it's very interesting. It's really unique. I mean, this whole idea of like Stone Age vampires, that's something I've never seen before. I don't know if anyone else out there has seen anything like that before, but I know for me it was a first. Um, and then the other thing is the artwork. You can see the art in this book is fantastic. Um, just really like high quality art. Like this is some pro level art, honestly. Like this is really good stuff. And the art, the colors, the story is really well done, because there's eventually a twist that happens um with the character of the Puritan and this tribe of humans. Here we see the tribe. We have this tribe of humans who are, mostly female, because again, that's what the vampires allow. They feed on mostly males, and they allow the women to live, but they allow a few men to live. And one of the females is coming close to being able to breed, and so they're going to have babies and grow the tribe. Um, and so you get this interesting view into how the humans are living as opposed to how the vampires are living. And honestly, neither one of them is doing great. I mean, let's be honest, because the humans are constantly in fear of being fed upon, while at the same time, the vampires are dying out because of this disease, because they've hunted the humans to near extinction. So that's the whole setup. You get this whole thing, and it's pretty interesting to see, like, the way the whole thing goes and how their hunting works and what the humans do. And then eventually, um, what the character of the Puritan does with his help of his dudes, um, and the captured human. He's got a plan, and we're not quite sure exactly what his plan is. We just know that he does have a plan. I mean, I'm not going to spoil anything. I don't want to spoil it. For those who haven't read it, I'm hoping that when they do the campaign for issue 3, that they'll have issues 1 and 2 available to everyone so that you can get caught up. I absolutely 100% would recommend this book wholeheartedly. I read the first 2 issues. Really, really good stuff. I really want to see where this goes. And it was such a surprise. And this is the thing I love. This is what I love about what I do here. It's one of the things I love about having this channel. It's one of the things I love about having Indie Comics Underground, my zine for crowdfunded and indie comics. I love being exposed to these things that I never would have seen before. Like, unless I just randomly would have came across this, I never would have seen it. And it's so cool. It's such a good book that I really am happy that I found it. And now I'll be keeping an eye out for when they do their campaign for issue 3, because I want to see what happens next. I read the first 2 and I want to know what happens. So I absolutely really could not recommend it more, honestly. I know it's going to be tough to get a hold of at this point, because again, it's a crowdfund that was already done, and it was on Kickstarter, so there is no in-demand phase there. And so I feel like that's one thing that Indiegogo definitely has over Kickstarter, is the whole in-demand thing, because you could actually start fulfilling your campaign, and stay in demand, so that as new people start sharing their experience of the book, others can then come in and back it. But most campaigns, like I said, they'll have a catch up tier where you can get the previous issues to get caught up on everything. So 100%, I would recommend it. If you can track it down, or like I said, when the campaign for issue 3 comes around, definitely. I'll try and make a point to put it out there for people so you can find it. Like I'll try to tweet it or whatever. Um, and maybe I'll have it in the zine when the time comes. So we'll see what happens. But like I said, really professional quality stuff, really good story, really great art, and just a really, really cool concept. And I mean, listen, what more do you want out of a comic book? A great art, a great story, and a great concept. Boom. That's what you need to make a good comic. That's what you want. So like I said, definitely recommend. And I mean, like I said, it's just going to be, you got to have to wait for the campaign, I guess, for issue 3. But I really, really enjoyed it. So that is Herd issue 1. If you like this video, if you're new to the channel, if you've never been here before or anything like that, don't forget to subscribe. If you're already subscribed, make sure you're still subscribed. Hit the bell for notifications. You can follow me on Twitter. I'm at jam_creates. You can follow me on Instagram, which I am also jam_creates. And don't forget Indie Comics Underground. That's how you find out about stuff like this. You go to indiecomicsunderground.com and you sign up, and you can get early access to every issue before the rest of the internet gets it. And I just want to tell you guys, I'm working on issue 7 right now. I've got a lot of really cool stuff in there lined up, and the cover is going to be badass. I've got a guy who's super excited about doing the cover, and I can't wait to show you guys when it's all said and done and when it's all together. And like I said, if you go there and you sign up, you'll get it before anyone else does. And you can also check out, while you're there, you can check out all the previous issues, the previous 6 issues of Indie Comics Underground, read all those great interviews and previews and all kinds of cool stuff. All right. So I thank you again for being here, and I am glad that you could spend this time with me. It was a weird ending. I don't know. I'm kind of losing my mind this week. That's why there was no video on Monday or Tuesday. I'm sorry about that, but things got a little hectic here at home. We'll be back on track. Don't worry. So I'll see you again tomorrow. Tomorrow I'll be doing a old school comics video, so you can look forward to that. And I will be doing a Hype Zone again on Friday. All right. I'll talk to you guys soon. Peace out.